Here we are with another request for a website UX and SEO audit. And today it's from Alpha Resumes, which is in Melbourne, Australia. I'm going to start with looking over the website and seeing what I see and maybe what looks good, what could do with a little bit of work. So first off, welcome to Alpha Resumes Melbourne. Our expert resume writers work with clients in Melbourne to create bold, powerful resumes that ensure you stand out. We meet with you face to face and really get to know you before we start work. Okay, so the image in the background is fine. It's just a sort of stock style image. I think that there's a fairly modern style, I think, of producing these kinds of sort of page leads, you know, the start of a page. And having the brand is fine, but I think this is probably a little long. So I would like that to be, you know, looked over maybe by a content writer who could say the same thing at about half the amount of words, which would then allow you to have the text much larger. So if we went to 250%. Give it a little bit of space and things, half the amount of text. I think that would be much more easy to read than it is at the moment. You want people to know fundamentally, really clearly and succinctly what it is that you do in 5 or 10 seconds. Please scroll down for more. Okay, why work with us? This image looks a little pixelated. It's very stock style as well. I think these are kind of, you know, are okay, but this looks very stock, as in someone smiling at the camera. I think that, you know, that could probably do with a little bit of rework. Why work with us? Professional and polished so you stand out. Okay, so we've got some text. I'd like to see a few little headings in between this, maybe, you know, so I could understand if I'm only interested in skimming, what am I going to take from this? I'm going to take the professional and polished so you stand out, but is there something else in here which would be another message that you'd really like me to take that you could, you know, put in a heading like this? Then there's learn more about us, resume writing that will get you noticed. There's the prices, that's nice and clear. Start with any resume package. LinkedIn profiles, is that what we mean? You get LinkedIn profiles with any resume package. That's not immediately clear quite what that is, but I think that's what it means. LinkedIn profiles with any resume package, which is presumably this. And then other services. I guess I could click on that and see what they are. Our commitment to you, that's very long. The line lengths are way too long. You need to bring that in. At least on my monitor, it's very wide. Member of career directors, high flyers, top 5 best Melbourne resume writing services by Find My Profession. I mean, these are good trust metrics. I'd actually like to see those a lot higher. Don't hide those away. Also, the same thing with this. Most of our clients have secured senior roles. See, to me, that's your sell. That's a long way down the page. I would be immediately interested, even if I'm not in, you know, wanting to look for any of those, work for any of those companies. I would be thinking, well, okay, this must be a serious company if they have these brands who, you know, people have eventually started working for. So I'd be putting this stuff a lot higher. If you can get people to stay, then they're more likely to read your text. But people often do this the wrong way around. They have the text first, and then the real trust and sell, you know, point a little bit lower. Featured blog posts. Okay, so we've got some blog posts. Ready to stand out, get in touch. So let's get started. Yeah, let's get started can be a nice button, but I would suggest having it the other way round. So this button here is, you know, has a large amount of contrast with its background. These outline buttons actually show up a lot less. So I would suggest having that the other way around. And I'd also, again, I'd just make the text bigger. I don't think it needs to be quite as small as it is. I may or may not be able to find quite how to do this. Might be this, might not be. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's huge, but you get the point. You know, now I can really see it. I know let's get started is there. Oh, it's done it to all of them, obviously. Sorry about that. Obviously, it's not making changes to your actual website. I'm only making changes on my local copy, if you weren't aware of that. Okay, so then we've got menus at the top, home, about us, services, and then a kind of mega menu style thing here. Drop down, entry excellence, graduate or entry level, signature service, professional or tradie, platinum, management or executive. Yeah, that's okay. I think I understand that. Our process, let's go and click on the process, see what the process is. Okay, so we've got a video straight away. The style of the video, I'm not going to click on it and look at it, but the style of the video actually looks quite, I don't know, it looks a little childish somehow. If you're looking at being sort of a serious site, this doesn't quite fit for me somehow now. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, get in touch, discovery, crafting, and review and sign off. That's nice and clear. I'd like to see that a little wider, so these have a bit more space, a bit more width on them. Overall, the website's looking pretty good. It's, we're talking level of sort of tweaks and things. I like an FAQ. I think they're fantastic. I would even suggest maybe putting your top 5 frequently asked questions on your homepage. You could, if you wanted to, do some research. You could get some visitor recording sessions or ask people which of these are the most important things to answer, and maybe move, say, a few of them onto the homepage. This message again, let's get started. That's on every page. That's good. The footer being white looks a little odd to my eyes. So this is kind of quite dark, and then the footer is white again, and I've got this dark light, which is fine normally on websites, but I feel with the footer it's actually better just to be darker. That's a personal thing. I don't think it'll really make a difference to you, but that's a personal thing. You've got a phone number there, and that's a tell link, which is good. And then a contact us, which has got presumably all of your contact information, where you are, some trust metrics there. Yeah, okay. Get in touch today. I'm feeling like this is a page of two halves, and it could be better with maybe just even a little bit more space between the two of them. This line here is just a kind of a new design flourish that I've not really seen anywhere else, and that feels a bit weird. I don't know how many steps this is going to be. You're going to asking me, am I going to be here filling it in for half an hour? I've no idea. I think people like to know that. And if there's not too much to ask, I just put it on the one page. I'm not going to go and actually do that for you, but that would be my thought. Very quickly, I'm going to have a look at blogs and see what we've got. Resume writing guides. Oh, so this is categories. It's a nice style, I have to say. I like this. Resume writing guides covering LinkedIn and developing your online brand, interview preparation techniques. Let's go and have just a look at this one. Steps to a successful interview. Nice branded image. Purpose of an interview, preparation, steps to a successful interview. That's a good SEO point. These look pretty good. Settle into the interview, answer questions with confidence. Don't avoid the negatives. Ask questions of your own. Follow up afterwards. That's pretty good. It's not a bad article at all. I think some of these stock images take me outside of your brand. So these kind of things I think are fine. That seems a little off to me for your brand. I think the rest of the images are good. I'd like to have something that's almost like, here's the 8 steps, give me those straight away. If I don't want to read the rest of the article, then I don't have to. But here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the number happens to be. Okay, I'm going to do a quick pause and I go and have a look at SEO next. Okay, going to carry on now. So we're going to take a look at SEO. So we have traffic trends and it seems to go between 80 and maybe 200 and something. I think you probably don't have, there's a few terms which you know, give you the bulk of your traffic. And I did have a look at this because it looked like it was going up and down quite a lot. So what seems to be happening is there's some particular terms where you're just dropping, say, one place, and that's having quite an impact on the amount of traffic that you're actually getting overall. So in June, you had a significant amount more traffic than you did in July and then in August. So I think there's nothing wrong. It's just that you're unfortunately losing, individual places. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But obviously, we'd like it not to be the case. We'll maybe go through a little bit of that in a second. So backlinks, I did have a look at, and I had a look at your anchors. The only thing that made me a little concerned was here, where you had graduate resume writing service resume Melbourne from two different sites, which is unusual. That's a very, very, very specific term for two people to be linking to you, and the same with these. So just be somewhat cautious if this is a way that you're trying to get some more anchors in to from links. Just be a bit careful about that. In terms of the strength of your links in general and your site in general, it's pretty good for the style of site, and you have 139 referring domains, which is okay. Nothing else particularly stuck out for me with that. Now, every site needs as many links as it can get, but what you want is links which are editorially placed, so someone had to choose to give you that link. And I would be suggesting doing a backlink gap in SEMrush with some of your competitors, which I've already run here, to try and find other places that maybe had been giving your competitors links but not yourself. Now you then have to try and work out why they got that link in the first place, but that's something maybe you could be working on. In terms of your keywords, so you were doing pretty well. The largest of the most obvious competitors had the largest amount of keywords and traffic, but you're doing well with that. Most of you rank for these kind of core terms, these real kind of landing page transaction terms. You're doing you're third for Melbourne resume, which is good. Fifth for resume writers Melbourne, which is good. Australia, I suspect, is not relevant to you, but you're doing well with those. What I think was interesting was when I had a look here, I saw you're ranking 54th for graduate resume, and I opened the URL, and there's nothing wrong with, for example, the page title or anything, but there's not a lot of content on that page. You could really be working on some of these extra landing pages and getting some more traffic, especially if you were to push them a little bit more in maybe writing some blog posts and linking back to them for particularly key relevant information. So overall, from an SEO point of view, you're doing well. You're doing all of the right things. I'd like to see maybe more in terms of blog posts that are linking back to your service pages. Things that are very specific and relevant to those service pages. Anchor text, which is right for that particular page, can be fantastic. So if you can find a way to link back to one of your other landing pages in in these articles. I would say that would be a benefit, and use good but varying anchor text to go to those. But generally speaking, your site's in good in good shape. I think like any site, you could do with some more links. You need to find ways to go and get links, and hopefully that will propel you even further. There's certainly plenty of keywords that you could go and have a look at, trying to produce some more content for, and I would be looking also to use the keyword magic tool to go and find other keywords which may be relevant, and producing blog posts, especially on questions that people want to have answered. That would be my thought. Now, if you have had a look through this and you're wondering where all this data is coming from, it's coming from a site called SEMrush. If you'd like a 14-day trial for SEMrush, I'll drop a link below, and you can get a trial and go and check it out for yourself. I think it's the best overall business marketing tool, especially relevant, I think, for small to medium-sized businesses. But even at the enterprise level, where they have SEOs working on them, they will probably have SEMrush and use it to be getting the kind of data that I've been looking at in this. So if you've liked this, please hit like. If you have any comments or thoughts, please comment. I really appreciate it. I'm a new channel, and I really appreciate any likes that you can give to me. If you think you have a site which you'd like me to do the same for, then feel free to leave it below. I do now have a little bit of a backlog, so I'll get through them all as quickly as I can.